Yeah, so in this video, I just wanted to talk about, groups of people or characters, certain characters that I don't take advice from because, you know, I've had a lot of experiences. I've met a lot of different people, and my assessment, after 50 years of being on this earth, is that you can't trust anyone, and you shouldn't take advice from everyone. Even your those who are very closest to you, either your parents or even your siblings and other relatives. My personal experience is that none of those uh, people, including my parents, have given me good advice, and they've never led by example. So I'm just doing this video just to say, in my personal experience, there are certain types of people I don't take advice from, because if I also take the advice, I wouldn't be. If I had taken the advice, I wouldn't be where I am right now in life. I'll say the only person who has been uh, consistent in terms of being good to me, and being truthful and loyal to me is and faithful, is God and His Son Jesus Christ. They're the only ones who have been very good to me. Not forgetting to mention my wife, who has been giving me a lot of support over the years. But yeah, so the very first group of people I don't take advice from are those who tell me that I shouldn't exercise my God-given right to speak. Now uh, that's one of the most important rights that we were given by God. God gave me a voice; He gave you a voice so that you can speak. So what has actually happened? Why I'm talking about that group is because that group of people is because I went through a lot of abuse, both as a child and also as an adult. Especially my parents were very abusive to me and my wife after I got married. Verbally abusive, put me through a lot of psychological abuse. They were harassing me and my wife. So and then when I started saying that, I wasn't happy about it. I didn't like it. I was told that I should be quiet, especially my mom. My mom said that to me. So I don't listen to anyone who tells me to be quiet, because God is the one that gave me that right. And I'm sure they wouldn't like to be told to be quiet either. So yeah, it's what I find interesting is that the people who are very talkative and like to talk a lot, to talk about and also criticize others are the very same ones who don't like to be criticized. They want to do the talking, but they don't want others to talk at all. So yeah, I also don't listen to fake Christians, and you can tell who fake Christians are quite easily. Someone might say, oh, but you're judging, you shouldn't judge. No, Christ said, "You shall know them by their fruit shall you know them." It's easy to tell if someone. For me personally, especially once I've spent a lot of time with someone, I can tell whether that person is a true Christian or not. Because if they don't follow what the Holy Scriptures say straight away, to me, that's quite easy to tell if that person is a true Christian or not. So I don't listen to fake Christians, and you can tell who they are because they are not Christ-like. So it's especially the ones who abuse others and then support wickedness, like my relatives who supported my parents when they're abusing me. Those are fake Christians, and especially those who don't show compassion. When I was hurting, when I was being hurt, a lot of harsh words and even abusive language was used against me and my wife. Those Some of those relatives supported my parents instead of basically saying that it was wrong. And I was actually even accused of doing certain, being accused of being in the wrong when I actually hadn't done anything. I was minding my own business in my own home. So yeah, hypocrites basically. I don't pay attention to what hypocrites say. So the fearful, in other words, cowards, like those who took the poke because they saw a Chinese man falling on TV. No, I don't take advice from such people. If you go to Revelation 21 verse 8, it says, and I'm not quoting the whole verse, but it says, "But the fearful shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death." So anyone who doesn't exercise bodily sovereignty should not be giving advice. Don't give me your advice if you were scared of the this pandemic. I don't take advice from victims of domestic abuse. If you are allowing yourself to be abused by another person, why would you even think to open your mouth and give advice? Because if you're a victim of domestic abuse, you're a slave basically. You know, a slave is someone who has things done to them without being able to stop it. You know, so it's anything that is done to someone against their will. You're a slave. So don't give me your advice. And I'll suggest for those who are watching, don't take advice from such people. By the way, I was a police officer for 12 years in the UK, and domestic abuse cases and domestic violence cases were actually our bread and butter. I used to deal with that almost on a daily basis. So I don't see why someone should want to come and give me advice when they are being subjected to domestic abuse. You know, so I'm saying, yeah, you're obviously not in control of your own life, so why would you want to give someone else advice? Drunkards, I don't take advice from drunkards, and I don't listen to what they say. So Proverbs 20 verse 1 says, wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whoever is deceived thereby is not wise. So quite clearly, the Holy Scripture say that if you drink alcohol and you get yourself drunk, you are not wise. So if you're not wise, why would you want to come and give me advice? And also, 1 Corinthians 6 verse 10 says, drunkards shall not inherit the kingdom of God. So, yeah, another reason I don't listen to drunkards. I wouldn't even be where I am today on this massive plot of land, 4 hectares of land, having sold 7 hectares of land, if I was a drunkard and if I was, like a homemonger. Also, something else I wanted to mention as well before I forget is alcohol is actually a poison. So if you drink poison, why would you want to come and give me advice? I don't put poison in my body. My body is the temple of God. I don't involve myself in such stuff. So for those drunkards out there who think they can give advice, keep your advice to yourself. Adulterers as well. Hebrews 13 verse 4, it says, whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. That includes, this is me speaking, that includes those with more than one wife and those with small houses. Now here in Zimbabwe, small houses are actually, girlfriends basically. It's a term that's used for girlfriends. If you've got girlfriends and you have more than one wife, why would you want to come and give me advice? Keep your advice to yourself. I don't take advice from fools who say there's no God. Psalms 14 verse 1, the fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. Liars as well. I don't take advice from liars. Proverbs 12 verse 22 says, lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but they that deal truly are his delight. God delights in those who tell the truth. So yeah, there are lots of liars amongst my relatives. There are lots of liars, because when I was going through a lot of abuse, there were lots of lies that were told, including by my parents who are in their 70s now, but they're still telling lies. So God says that's an abomination. You shouldn't tell lies, So the fact that I came out and told my relatives that I was being abused, in order to basically protect their reputations and cover themselves, my parents and other relatives started telling lies to protect my parents, and God says that's an abomination. In fact, there's another verse, Proverbs 17:15 says, he who justifies the wicked and he who condemns the just, both are an abomination to the Lord. So, let's moving on. I don't take advice from parrots. A parrot? A parrot is a bird that mimics human sounds or human words. So parrots are, in this case, I'm referring to people as parrots because there are some who repeat what they see on TV. That's propaganda. That's why I don't watch TV. Now, if you watch TV and then you repeat what's on TV and then you come to me wanting to give me advice, I don't take advice from you. So, especially there are some who, when they watch TV, they express what they see on TV as if it's their own thought, as if that what they're saying has originated with them, as if it's original to them. But yeah, you are a parrot if you just repeat what you see on TV. 10 disrespectful people who don't respect me but think that I should respect them. Respect is a two-way street. Don't just expect someone to respect you when yet you don't want to give the respect back. Especially here in Africans, black Africans, when they are older than someone else, they think that a younger person should just give them respect. Sorry, without giving the respect back. It doesn't work like that. You have to respect the other person. If you want to have a genuine relationship, it doesn't matter how old the person is, even if it's a 3-year-old, you still have to respect that person. I've already mentioned the hypocrites, but I'll just explain a bit more here. Hypocrites are the ones who expect me to do things that they are not willing to do themselves. So yeah, I've had a lot of experience with that, especially with older relatives, who think that you should always just give them money, give them money all the time. That yeah, basically, I don't believe in relationships that are based on money. If you want to have a relationship with me, there should not be any money involved. We should actually be able to talk. You should call me, and I can call you. It should not be one-sided. There's a lot of this thing that, if you're, you should always call your parents. Buy phone cards and call your parents all the time, but they don't make an effort in calling you. There's a lot of that happens in African families, and also expecting treating children like investments, that they're just supposed to give you money. It should be both ways. This thing of thinking that, oh, because I raise my kids, therefore they should repay me, there's nothing like that. Raising children, looking after children and paying for their school fees and buying clothes and buying them food and having a roof over their heads, that's your duty as a parent. It's not a business. You don't bring up or raise children so that they can then pay you back when you're older. That's nonsense. That's why there's a lot of conflict in African families, because some parents, not all parents, but some parents just expect their children, when they start working, to just give them money all the time and to buy them things. Some of them will even go as far as saying that they, expecting to be their children to buy cars for them or buy houses, is what actually happened to me personally. That my parents have mentioned a number of times that they expected us to buy them a house, to build them a house. So that's not a genuine relationship. Basically, it's basically a relationship where the parents feel entitled because they brought up their children. Like I said already, bringing up children is actually the parents' duty, and you shouldn't expect to be rewarded for it. It can be done willingly if the children want to do that. The last one, I don't take advice from those who think they can take my God-given rights. And I've mentioned some of these already. The right to speak, the right to live in peace with my family, choose my own faith. Because there are some relatives, when I left the nominal SDA church, some of them actually got angry with me. They said that there's one particular aunt of mine who said that I wasn't getting along with her and my uncle, her husband, because she said it's because of this new religion of yours. Actually, I'm not in a new religion. I'm simply sticking to the beliefs that the pioneers of the SDA church had. I don't believe in all this new stuff, the Trinity and women's ordination and homosexuality and all the other stuff that's happening in the SDA church. For those who haven't maybe watched my videos where I explain why I left the nominal SDA church, my videos are up on my channel if you want to see that. So yeah, I was talking about those who want to take away my rights, the right to make my own choices, and the right to freedom of conscience, etc. So in terms of choices, everyone basically, unless maybe you are in India or some of those places where your wife gets chosen on your behalf by your parents. Otherwise, in most other parts of the country, parts of the world, you choose who you want to get married to. So I chose who I wanted to get married to, but when I got married, my wife started getting criticized, especially by my parents, because they were expecting her to do certain things for them, and my wife didn't do those things, and I wasn't really happy for her to do anything against her will or against our will as a couple. But yeah, so the interesting thing is that this even came up on a video. In South Africa, there's a lot of interracial marriages that are taking place and there was a video that was put up on YouTube where this couple got married, and then the parents of the wife were against her getting married to this man because he was from Zimbabwe. And I put a comment on in the comment section there. I said it's interesting, it amazes me how some people decide for themselves who they get married to. But when someone else wants to exercise that same right in terms of the right of choice, it's like they're not allowed to do that, you know. So yeah, I got a lot of comments on in reference to my comment, and a lot of likes. Not that I need anyone's approval, but yeah, everyone has the right to choose who they get married to. They have a right to choose what career they want to take or what career path they want to take in life. So it's not up to someone older or someone like a parent to decide those kind of things, because they made their own choices. So you should allow your children to make their own choices. Yeah. So a bit of a rant, but I'm hoping that those maybe who are in similar situations as myself, being from an African background and having had the same things done to them, you know, just be careful that you don't ruin your life by taking bad advice, you know. First and foremost, and most importantly, in every decision that you make, obviously you should pray, but also whatever you want to do in life, whatever you want to achieve, it should be pleasing to God. Don't worry about what anyone else thinks. As long as what you're doing is right with God, then you're on the right track. Don't listen to, you know, or take bad advice, whether it's parents or siblings or other relatives or someone older than you. That's not their business who you get married to or what career path you take in life. And yeah, don't take advice from those groups of people that I've mentioned. No, wisdom comes from God. If you listen to what God says by reading His holy scriptures, then you can't go wrong.